So now that your kid is back in school, you expected him to approach homework the way he used to before quarantine, but not so much. Well, we're going to talk about that today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. I lead two organizations, Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. Every Wednesday at noon, I jump onto Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions. Let's jump into today's. During quarantine, my 13-year-old son really struggled with homework and motivation for school in general, which I totally understand. But now that he's back at school, he's still resisting doing homework. He's not getting all his work done, and he's complaining a lot about it. Before quarantine, we never really had a problem with this. So now that he's back, I just don't understand why he's not doing better. How should I deal with this problem? Thank you so much for your question. There could be a lot of different possibilities why this problem is happening. Let's jump into a few possibles. Number one, quarantine had no impact on it. He was going to do this anyway. He was entering adolescence, and quarantine hit right with it, and even if quarantine didn't hit, he'd still be having the same problems. That is a possibility. Could just be with what's going on up here. Secondly, let's say he's 13, so I'm guessing he's 7th grade. So he probably started 6th grade in quarantine, started middle school in quarantine. Maybe he's at a new school. He's also having a hard time adjusting to 6 classes and 6 teachers. The intensity of the homework has gotten harder, and it's harder for him, and maybe in elementary school it was a lot easier. So there could be a lot of factors with those as well. Maybe he's not really connecting well with kids at school. He's feeling like an outsider. Could be some family relationship issues going on. They're not being addressed satisfactorily for his emotional needs. Oftentimes, homework could just be a window, like a warning sign of something else going on. So we want to explore all these different aspects, not just about getting him doing homework, because the homework could be the canary in the coal mine, as a metaphor, to understand that maybe something deeper going on emotionally for him. So in one word, how do you approach this? Approach it calmly. Make sure he feels safe. Make sure he's not feeling attacked. If he feels attacked, then homework is going to even become a worse scenario. It's going to be a scarier, more unpalatable scenario. It's going to push farther away. As in one, it's scary, it's uncomfortable, excuse me, and it's a great way to control you. So you want to make sure you're approaching it with compassion. Also, during quarantine, he could have really jumped into screens, his iPad, his PlayStation, his phone, YouTube, social media. All those things could have really absorbed him for the last year and a half, and he may need some more clear, fair, and reasonable boundaries on screens so he can focus on homework. I think it's important that he has also extracurricular activities. If he hasn't really found anything yet, he probably needs to find something, because that helps keep kids be motivated and happy and helps them do homework. I would not, if your kid's doing soccer, I would not pull him out of soccer because he's not doing homework. I would try to find a way to incorporate them together. As you take away his love, then he's going to even be less motivated. So it's really talking to him about what's going on with him, what are his concerns. If you feel he's not being open and he may need someone else to talk to, you may want to think about having him talk to a therapist. There are plenty of teen therapists out there, Teen Therapy Center and Child and Teen Counseling, but we're not the only places in town. So yes, you want to really make sure that he's feeling supported. Make sure you're staying calm. Make sure you're not yelling, nagging. That never works for anyone, even though as parents we all fall into that from some time to another. Anyways, again, I'm approaching with a very broad base. If you can find out what's causing the problem, maybe you can help with that. It could also be, one thing I forgot is, he may be having a hard time learning how to prioritize and organize for middle school, which he didn't really have to do so much in elementary. Middle school is more complex. He may need help with that, which may be beyond his scope, which means he may need help And if he won't accept your help, maybe hiring a tutor to help him with that, or an educational therapist if you think he has some cognitive delays or developmental delays or processing delays, that could help as well. Anyways, thank you very much for your question. We love your questions. If you have a question you'd like me to answer, please email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com or direct message us right here on Facebook. We love your questions. Thank you very much. My name is Kent Toussaint with Teen Therapy Center and Child and Teen Counseling, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday at noon with the next question for Tips on Teens. Bye-bye.